Guys, so welcome back to my channel. If you're new or simply not yet subscribed, I'm Brittany, and definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button. And we're going to be talking about the pig lady and the pig woman, which even though they sound super similar, I don't believe that they are the same. Some people do think that they are correlated, but the legends are different. Well, the one is like a true crime and the other one's a legend, which I guess kind of goes into a true crime. You'll see. Anyways, let's dive right in. Now, in 1922, there was a murder in Somerset County, and this murder made national headlines. There was a local preacher and a married choir singer that was found deceased underneath a crabapple tree on Lover's Lane in Franklin Township. So clearly it kind of seemed like something was going on if they were found together. But Reverend Edward Wheeler Hall, who was 41, and Mrs. Eleanor Reinhardt Mills, who was 34, had both been shot in the head. And then they were carefully laid out with the minister's hand placed beneath the woman's shoulders and neck. And all around their bodies were love notes that was written by Mrs. Mills to the married preacher. So clearly there was some sort of affair going on. I think the fact that he was a preacher makes it even more damning. The only person that claimed to have witnessed this crime was Jane Gibson. Now, Jane was seen as rather strange, and she was a pig farmer. And she had lived at the end of De Russey's Lane, which was near where the bodies were found. She had told investigators that she was riding her mule, Jenny. She was hoping to catch thieves that were terrorizing her farm. The prosecution really took her testimony and ran with it. Like this was basically all they had. They were trying to convict the preacher's wife and her relatives for the murder. I mean, obviously, he was having an affair, she has motive, and now they have this witness that saw what happened. So they were like, yes, we got this. But not everyone believed Jane Gibson. She was actually dying of cancer at this time. And she gave her testimony from a hospital bed, which was actually brought to the courthouse each day by ambulance and placed in the courtroom. Her neighbors said that she was the biggest liar. And as the years went on, so 4 years after the murder, her testimony, how she remembered the event, she would become a lot more detailed in the event that took place. Testimony had begun to kind of sound more and more like things that, scenarios that were made up by a tabloid or newspapers and by the prosecution. Kind of like they were like, here, this is what we need you to say. And she's like, yeah, I'll do that. Her mother even attended trial every day. And she was a 76-year-old woman. She would sit in the first row directly in front of her daughter's hospital bed and mutter the words, she's a liar. I'm guessing they didn't have a healthy relationship. Mrs. Hall, which is the preacher's wife, her brothers, and their cousins were deemed not guilty. And it was just simply because of how shaky Jane Gibson's testimony really was. And her testimony was the entirety of the prosecution's case. She actually died shortly after. And the Hall Millis case remains unsolved since 1922. Now, she's referred to as the pig woman because she was a pig farmer. But only a few short miles away from where she lived, there's the legend of the pig lady, which is why they're kind of linked in a way. But it's weird because I don't think they have anything to do with one another. Now, Pig Lady Road, located in New Jersey, and it's said to be haunted by a spirit of a woman that has the body of a woman and a face of a pig. The story goes, this happened sometime in the 1900s. There was a man that lived with his wife on this little pig farm in Hillsborough, New Jersey, which is kind of interesting that she lived on a pig farm. And, you know, the pig woman was a pig farmer. So maybe it doesn't say that she had any kids though. So anyways, we're going to continue. So the wife got pregnant and gave birth to this baby girl that was disfigured. And it said that she resembled a pig. Her father couldn't bear to look at his daughter, which is so incredibly sad. And he went and chopped off a pig's head and put it on his daughter. Yeah. To hide her face and humiliate her. Definitely someone who should never have had kids. While the girl was growing up, obviously she was very teased and picked on. And the local kids actually labeled her the pig lady. And she vowed one day that she would have her revenge. Her mother ended up getting sick and eventually passed. And the pig lady buried her in the backyard. After she buried her mother, she went and she grabbed an axe from the barn and she went into the house and killed her father. She chopped off his head and replaced it with a severed pig head. Then she buried him as well and just kind of acted like nothing happened. As she grew older, she kind of just secluded herself and lived as a hermit. She didn't want contact with any of the town citizens. And kind of why would she? They treated her so terribly. However, one day, two young boys ended up seeing her and they saw her face. They started teasing her and called her the pig lady. Obviously, this kind of triggered something. And later that night, they returned, or triggered something in her, but they took it a step farther and they went back that night and placed a dismembered pig's head on her doorstep. They were never seen again. However, years later, the pig lady had died and her property was repossessed by the town. They dug up her garden and they found two set of bones of what they believed was the young boys. I don't know why you would go back to torment. I guess I never really had that mindset. So they say that if you drive down Pig Lady Road at night and you flash your headlights 3 times and then yell out the name Pig Lady, she'll appear and she'll come after you with an axe and chase you out of her area. When you leave, you're said to find scratch marks on your car. And they say that if you leave someone behind, just like one person by themselves, drive away, come back a few minutes later, that they will be scratched all over their body. One evening, there was a group of teenagers who went out to Pig Lady Road and wanted to test the legend for themselves. It says, we all admitted to being scared, except for my friend, Jen. She was calling us stupid for being so scared. When she got out of the car, she started calling out the pig lady's name and taunting her. We all got spooked and sped off down the road. When we eventually stopped the car, we were all laughing at how scared we had been, and then we realized there was no Jen. In our terror, we had accidentally left her behind. I never know how you accidentally leave somebody. I just don't get it. Anyways, when we went back to pick her up, there was no sign of her. We thought she must be playing a joke on us. So we got out of the car. My friend Shannon heard the sound of crying coming from a nearby bush. My friend John found Jen lying behind it and carried her out of the undergrowth. We got back into the car and drove off in silence. After leaving the deserted area, Jen was still crying and I turned around to comfort her. that's when I noticed the scratches on her face, arms, and legs. So it's also said that if you drive down Pig Lady Road at midnight, she will jump out in front of your car, making loud, like, crying noises. And it's said that she only comes out at night because she's ashamed of how she looks. Now, along Pig Lady Road, there are stone walls. And it's said that if you walk up to one of these walls and throw a penny backwards into a well, you can actually see her reflection in the water standing behind you as you are looking down the well. It's rather sad. I mean, for the pig woman, they're weirdly connected, as in the sense that they both lived on a pig farm, and one's called the pig woman, the other one's called the pig lady. So, and it's so close to each other, location-wise, only a few miles apart. I am curious if, you know, in the first one, the pig woman was telling the truth and she did actually witness this murder, because obviously the wife had motive because her husband was doing this horrible thing. But because of how shaky her testimony was, like, eyewitness accounts are one of the least, like, they don't hold up in court very well, because it's kind of like hearsay. So it is interesting. But with the pig lady, it's really sad. It's sad all of the torment she went through throughout her entire life by her own family. It doesn't really seem like her mom did that. Like, that's just kind of the feeling I get, because, you know, she doesn't do anything to her mom. She waits, like, her mom gets sick, her mom passes, and then she goes after her dad. Let me know if you guys have ever encountered the pig lady, and what you guys think of the, like, true crime aspect of the pig woman and the legend of the pig lady. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button for me, and until my next video, I love you guys. Bye.